Hi, Joanna Rochester, Wellness Renegade. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about becoming an observer in your life. What does that mean? Well, when you become an observer in your life, you start to live in the moment. You start to listen to what your body's telling you, you start to hear what your thoughts are, and you start to figure out what your emotions are. And when you can bring all of these elements into your life, then you can start to change your relationship with your health. You can start to develop your intuition. You can start to develop your relationship with your family and your friends. Because so often we live in the past or the future, and we don't live in the present. And the present is where life is. And that's where we want to be all the time. So if we can come back to that present and become an observer in your life, then you can start to affect changes the way you want to. Becoming an observer for me was a really challenging stage in my life. It happened after I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is a hyperthyroid autoimmune condition. And I ended up in a specialist's office, and he told me I'd be on meds for the rest of my life. And I can remember asking him if there was any natural therapies that I could try rather than taking the meds, and he just kind of a bit condescendingly told me no, there was nothing available. And I didn't know what else to do, so I started on those medications, but I also started doing the research. And that research has led me on an absolutely amazing journey where I have learned to become an observer in my life and start to recognize and pay attention to what my body's telling me. And so as a result of becoming that observer and making changes to my diet and the way I thought about things, I was able to come off those medications within 3 months, and I've never had a problem with my thyroid since then. So you can change your health. So how do you become an observer? Well, as I said, it was quite challenging for me because I had no idea how to listen to what I was being shown. So one of the first steps that you can do is do a food and mood diary. Over 7 days, record the food that you're eating. And if you're looking for weight loss, you would also record the amounts of food that you're eating. You'll also record how much you sleep, how much you drink, how many bowel movements you have a day. Yes, I said it, poop. Your poop is very important. It tells you a lot about what's going on in your body. You should be having at least 1 or 2 a day. And so beyond that, you can also start to record the food. And you will notice that I've uploaded a version of the food and mood diary, and you can download it from here also. But that food and mood diary will guide you to start connecting with what your body is trying to tell you and what your moods are, because food has a huge impact upon your mood. So does sleep, so does being dehydrated. All of these things you can start to pay attention to. And once you start to connect those dots with how your body is, what your body is telling you, then you can start to make changes. Our bodies are these absolutely amazing vessels that we live in, and our bodies tell us on a second-by-second basis what's going on, and our body balances itself on a second-by-second basis. It balances all the organs until it no longer can. It's called homeostasis. And so homeostasis is maintained until the body can't do that anymore, and that's when disease sets in. So if you can start to listen to your body, and some of the signals or the signs your body is giving you are things like bloating, gas, aches and pains in your joints, headaches, anxiety, depression. All of these are warning signs from your body. And so your body is telling you, hey, pay attention, do something here. Because what happens is if you don't listen to the small stuff, then you start to develop diseases like the Graves' disease that I developed. Because if I'd listened to my body in that 3, 4, maybe 5 months when I first started to, my body first started to show me the signs, I would never have been diagnosed with Graves' disease because I could have done something about it. So, what is your body telling you right now about what's going on with inside of it? What changes can you make? Once again, we're all designed to heal ourselves, so we can make those changes. We should feel healthy up into our 80s and 90s. And I have so many friends and clients that say, you know, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling old. You don't have to. And that's what I really like to get across today is you don't have to feel old. You don't have to feel tired. You should have the energy you want. You should be able to look in the mirror and go, I like what I see. And you should be able to listen to yourself more. So consider the food and mood diary and start to journal things. Journal at the end of the day, 3 symptoms you notice that day. And then you can also start to notice your thoughts. because we have about 4,000 to 5,000 thoughts every single day. And for a lot of us, unfortunately, there's a lot of negative thoughts in there, and we need to change those. So at first, just start to notice your thoughts. Don't try and change them. Just be aware of what you're thinking. Because when you can start to notice those thoughts, then you can start to say, hey, I don't like the way I talk to myself. Because as I said, a lot of us have very negative words for ourselves. So does any of this sound familiar? Oh my God, that was a stupid thing to do. Oh, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? Or, I can never go on that holiday. Think of what I look like in that swimsuit. So don't talk to yourself that way. Start to notice it and start to just say, hey, no, that's not working for me anymore. I want more positive things in my life. So start becoming that observer. Listen to your body, listen to your thoughts, and then you can start to affect change down the road. And then with another vlog, we'll talk about emotions, because that's a whole other topic into itself, because emotions have such a huge physiological effect upon us. So pay attention, start becoming that observer in your life. Then you can start to recognize your intuition. You know, Oprah said, I've trusted the still small voice of intuition my entire life. The only time I made mistakes is when I didn't listen. It's really more of a feeling than a voice, a whispering sensation that pulsates beneath the surface of your skin. All animals have it. We're the only species that denies it and ignores it. So if Oprah recognizes her intuition, she can feel it in her body, she knows that it's there, and she utilizes it, then what's to stop all the rest of us from changing our lives? So become that observer, start to listen, start to pay attention, and you can change your health. You can become a better leader, a better employee. You can affect positive change in all areas. Joanna Rochester, Wellness Renegade.